with us on Great Expectations. Today, we're talking about breastfeeding and helping you through any issues you might be having with feeding your baby. Our guests this morning are Brenda Campbell, a lactation consultant who has helped thousands of mothers get breastfeeding right, and midwifery consultant Diana Duplessis. And now joining us in studio is midwife Ntombi Msimango. You can call us to take part in today's chat on 011-447-1742 or SMS us with your questions on 34970. Diana, I'd like to start off by asking you, what happens during pregnancy to the body and to the breasts to kind of prep the body for what it's about to do to feed the baby?
Yeah, and it's actually quite interesting. Many of the changes that women experience in their bodies related to their relates to breast changes.
It's so true. It's so true.
Nipples become more sensitive.
Yeah.
The areola, the brown area that surrounds the nipple, becomes more prominent. And the moms will tell you that the first thing I experienced was painful boobies.
Your bra is sore, a cold wind comes in and
absolutely
it's murder.
So after the 4th month of pregnancy, the network really starts happening. The milk ducts enlarges, the milk glands enlarges, everything in preparation for the big day. And contrary to belief, people think that there's no milk in those breasts, but yet if a woman would have a miscarriage at an early stage in pregnancy, she will still produce milk.
Wow.
So where does it come from?
Wow.
The breasts are filled with a rich creamy substance called colostrum. And that colostrum is already present after 14 weeks of pregnancy.
Sure.
So there's no such thing that the mother is convinced that she hasn't got milk. The milk's already there and it's already pregnancy.
Brenda, what is colostrum?
Well, colostrum is the first milk, as Diana's saying, and when soon after the birth, there's little drips and drops of it. You know, mothers tend to think that if they've actually had their baby, the breasts are going to fill immediately, and they're going to be feeding their baby straight away. The first feeds are actually priming feeds. They trigger the whole process to start working. But colostrum, an easy way to explain to parents, which they understand much better, is that if you think about a big jug, of milk, and then a can of condensed milk. Colostrum is like the condensed milk. It is very, very, very densely packaged with antibodies and all the growth factors and everything that baby needs to get kick-started in life, and the protective factors.
Ntombi, I'd like to come over to you and talk about day 3 when the letdown reflex kicks in. I remember I was at the hospital and they ran out of cabbage leaves, and there were like 8 mothers who were
screaming for cabbage leaves.
Oh my God, it was a joke. We were walking around the maternity ward like glazed eyes, swollen boobs, screaming, praying for cabbage leaves. Day 3 letdown mechanism. What is that?
Exactly like you described it. Your breast can feel a bit full. That's when your milk supply is coming in, where you're changing over from what they've mentioned, the colostrum, to getting your fore milk and your hind milk. So a lot of the times the moms experience the breast fullness, and they say that they have a tingling sensation. The nipples can become sensitive together with the areola. Remember, it's already sensitive while you have the colostrum, but as soon as your breast comes through, that letdown reflex, it feels more sensitive because your breasts are now full.
And
so
they get huge, eh?
They do get huge. I mean, you get to sleep and you've got colostrum, your breasts are nice, soft and supple, you're still squeezing, trying to see if you've got colostrum, and you wake up the following morning and your breasts are full, and you sort of wonder what happened while you were sleeping.
I remember the sisters explaining to me that it's not, the breasts are not full of milk, it's the ducts that swell, or is that right?
Yes. So it's not the breast tissue that's full of milk, it's the milk ducts and the glands that are filled with milk. So a lot of the times the moms will say, my breasts are full and it feels like I'm leaking everywhere, but it's actually the ducts that are full and the milk is trying to get through, which is why when you start breastfeeding, you might find that a lot of that sensation is lessened, and a lot of the pain and discomfort is less because baby is emptying all of that out.
Okay. Diana, what is letdown, and is it possible for a mom to do anything to stimulate milk production if she feels like she's struggling?
Yeah, and the letdown reflex is actually a hormonal reflex, and that hormone is triggered when the baby is suckling on the breast. So he suckles on the breast, a rapid message is sent to the pituitary gland in the brain, and it tells those milk glands, somebody is suckling, push the milk out. And when the mom has that particular sensation, some of them say it's a tingling feeling in the breasts. Some of them would say it was quite an uncomfortable one. Or if you touch and feel it, you'll feel the gland go quite soft. It can be released, or it can be stimulated by just gently stroking the nipple, or rolling the nipple between the thumb and the first finger before she feeds.
Okay.
It can also be stimulated by applying some massage to the breast tissue itself just before a feed, and that will stimulate the lay-down reflex. It's more easily stimulated if the mom is calm and relaxed.
Okay. Okay. Which is tough. It's tough to stay calm and relaxed when you feel like your body's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Okay.
And especially if you doubt your own abilities. So if you doubt your abilities, that stress inhibits the lay-down reflex. So if you go with emotions and you're calm and as relaxed as you possibly can, it can help, which can be daunting if your baby's in ICU though.
Yeah. I'd like to ask you about the stuff that we take into our bodies sometimes as mothers. Some mummies are on antidepressants, you know, having a glass of wine or a cigarette. How does that affect the milk?
Yeah, and it can, all of those that you've mentioned can inhibit the milk flow and also the nutritional value of the milk. I need to speak on the testosterone that's sometimes given as an antidepressant. That can, or it's an ingredient of some antidepressant, that can inhibit the prolactin hormone. And prolactin hormone is needed to produce the milk.
Okay.
But prolactin is also inhibited by stress hormones.
Sure.
And it's also inhibited then by the nicotine in cigarettes.
Sure.
Also inhibited by various other types of medications. So it's also sensible to ask the pharmacist when you have a prescription, listen, I'm breastfeeding, please tell me, is this safe?
You've got to be proactive, you've got to ask. Okay. Ntombi, is breast milk ever bad for baby?
Not necessarily. Like Diane has mentioned, if you're on any medication that is contraindicated while you're breastfeeding, then we can say that breast milk is bad for baby. Some moms, if they are taking drugs that are not necessarily good for their systems, breast milk can be bad. Moms that are smoking, the nutritional value of that breast milk isn't as good as
But good old-fashioned, like good old-fashioned straight-up breast milk.
No, breast is best. Brenda has mentioned there's no other perfectly manufactured meal for baby than breast milk.
Is it possible for a baby ever to be allergic to breast milk? Does that happen?
No, I don't think baby would be allergic to the breast milk. Baby might be reacting to the food that the mom's eating.
Okay.
And is sensitive to those foods. Milk.
Okay, okay. Baby has arrived, and now it's time for the big moment, latching. Up next, we're going to talk about that. And you, please call us with questions for our experts on 011-447-1742, or please SMS us on 34970.
It's during those quiet moments of sleep that your baby does most of his growing.
Typical car insurance is like getting the chicken coop, when all you needed was a box of eggs. Not with pay-as-you-drive from Hollard. Comprehensive car insurance that calculates your premiums on the actual kilometers you drive, so you could save as much as 30% per month. SMS AFFORD to 41363 and we'll call you for a free pay-as-you-drive from Hollard.
Thola inombolo ze-Powerball, iLotto neLotto Plus emva kwawonke amadraw. SMSela uPower ku-31314. Joyina namhlanje ungaphuthela ukuthola impumelo ye-Powerball kwifowuni yakho. SMSela uPower ku-31314 manje.
Say hello to the healthy Nestle generation. They have some big news to share. The nutrition children get in the first 1,000 days of their lives can affect their health and development forever. That's a powerful thought, and it all starts with you. Nestle Start Healthy, Stay Healthy is a program that will help you choose complementary foods suited for your little one's optimal growth and development. From 6 months to preschool, we'll be with you every step of the way. Ask your healthcare professional for more information on breastfeeding and nutrition for infants and young children.
Welcome back. Today on Great Expectations, we are discussing breastfeeding. Are you struggling to get baby to suck properly? Or have you been told that you don't produce enough milk? Our team is here to help you now with honest and balanced advice on breastfeeding. They are midwife Ntombi Msimango and lactation consultant Brenda Campbell. Brenda, I'd like to start off by asking you why it's important for you to get the baby latched straight after birth. You know, I remember giving birth to my son, and then, like, you know, they had him in the incubator for a while, and almost immediately, you know, he came out and was on my boob.
Yes, we've learned so much more about that over the years, although some of us have been teaching that for many, many years. And skin-to-skin contact is a mammal thing as well. The baby needs to come from the birth canal straight onto the mother's abdomen and lie with the mum, and it's during that period, while the baby kind of recovers for a little while, that it starts looking for the nipple itself and has the ability to crawl up the chest and find the nipple itself and latch on. And babies who do that, quite honestly, do a lot better with breastfeeding than babies that don't do it. And it's high time everybody everywhere was doing it, because the knowledge has been available for a long time now.
Big question. I know a lot of moms sitting at home are asking, does it hurt?
It should not hurt. Breastfeeding that hurts means that the baby is not properly latched. All right. Initially, when the baby's just sourcing that little nipple himself, and he gets on himself and he gets latched and he learns the right way then. But then things happen in between that can change that. And sometimes it is to do with the positioning, not supporting the baby in a supportive position. Be actually chews on the nipple instead of having a big mouthful of areola. So they do not actually nipple feed. They breastfeed. With a big mouthful of nipple and areola in their mouths.
Talking of latching, we joined a friend of the show, childbirth educator Tina Otti, when she helped a brand new mum with breastfeeding. Take a look.
Breastfeeding is one of the most incredible things you can do for your baby, and it needs to be something that you enjoy doing as well. When you breastfeed, or when you're getting ready to breastfeed, it's also a very important time for bonding, and there's much giving and receiving going on here. You've turned him beautifully. His body is facing yours, which we call tummy to mummy. So that he doesn't have to turn his head. It's a stroke. And he's learned to get on the breast himself very easily. All right, let's... Come on, baby. Come show off for us, darling. There we go. Open.
Just taking a breath.
Are you just taking a breath?
Just taking a breath.
Please, there we go. Open, there we go. Look, there. He's looking. All his reflexes are working. And he's on. And it shouldn't hurt. If it's hurting, then something's wrong. Then he's not on properly. As the lactation consultants will tell you, babies breastfeed, they don't nipple feed. So if he's chomping your nipple and it's sore, you need to take him off. But he looks very comfortable, and you're looking a little more comfortable as well. Babies can go right up against the breast. Then they're born with flared nostrils, so they can breathe right up against the breast, and if they can't, they will delatch, they will take themselves off. So when you're feeding, it's also important that you have a glass of water close to you, because you've probably found you get very thirsty when you feed, and just make sure that those shoulders are down.
Oh man, you actually forget how tiny the little ones are when they come out. Hey,
Very tiny.
Ntombi, is there anything that you'd like to add to what we saw in the insert?
I think what Tina mentioned, that baby is supposed to breastfeed and not nipple feed. So a lot of the mistake that moms make is that baby latches onto the nipple only and is sucking and pulling on the nipple and chomping away. That's when it could possibly hurt. Another thing to mention is that mom must hold baby tummy to mommy, close intimate contact. I think I'll show you with the doll, but something along these lines where mom has good eye contact with baby, that head is in a nice straight line and in comparison with the body. So baby is aligned correctly, mom's comfortable in sitting back, there's good bonding and eye contact, you know, in a nice warm environment. That was perfect. I think what the mom did there was correct.
Are there other in terms of like position, the way you can sit the baby when you feed?
Yes, there's so many options. But I think what's important first is mom must first be comfortable and relaxed to breastfeed. Otherwise, it's not going to work. The other position, other than the one that Tina showed in the insert, is holding baby in almost like a rugby ball position.
They taught me that at the hospital.
It's brilliant. Where baby's tucked nice and neatly underneath the armpit. You've got the palm of your hand supporting baby's neck, just the nape of the neck. And in this way, you still have good eye contact with baby.
Yeah.
You've got control over your breasts and baby's head where you can move baby like so. Then you use the other hand to hold your breast, and I always say to the moms, grab it like it's a hamburger. Take charge of it. It's yours. And your baby was made for it.
Sure.
Okay, and it's just basically moving baby closer to you other than you moving forward and trying to get to baby. That's the other position.
Another thing we do is try and keep the mom's hands, because if you press, so the way that you've just explained, with the arm along the back here, even if the baby's under the arm or across the chest, many moms will do this. And the minute you push on the back of a baby's head, it has a reflex where it pulls off, and so it gets onto the tip of the nipple. So we have to keep the hands off, support the back and shoulders, and then, as you're saying, support the weight of the breast, and then let the baby go on. The baby will actually tilt its little head slightly back, and that's why we also don't want to push on it. So the little head will go. If we were going to bite a hamburger, we would squeeze that hamburger. We know it's too big for our mouth,
right.
so we would give it, compress it slightly, tip our heads back and go on with this first. Now, if they go on with a wide mouth and the lip down, they're in the right position. Okay. So they need the flexibility to be able to move the neck a little bit as well.
Okay. We've eating. Now let's go back to Tina, as she showed the same new mom how to burp her new baby.
Gently supporting his head and his back, lift him up, and just take him to your shoulder as you would as if you were winding him, which exactly what you're going to do. Okay. All right, just then it's quite normal for them to bring up their little legs like that, like little monkeys. And just supporting him there and let him hold you. I think what a really good way to wind is, instead of bashing the back, or, there's a big wind in there, and it must come out like a bloop kind of thing, not in little bits. Those small winds are hard to get out. Yeah. So this is why daddies are so good at doing it. So what you do with this hand, if you're comfortable to do that, and hold him with this hand, is just to stroke firmly, push those winds up, or try with the other hand if it's better. Whatever hand is more comfortable for you. There we go. There we go.
Oh,
there we go. Just there, just from there, Ken. From there. Yeah. Of course, there's some wonderful massage movements that you'll learn on the tummy that you can do to help move winds along as well, and increase the peristalsis that helps them. Okay, then the other way that you can wind him, he needs to be upright, okay? He mustn't be slouching, because otherwise the wind's not going to come out. So you just support his little head. You can put your finger underneath his arm there to hold him there, and you hold him up firmly like this, and you do exactly the same thing. You can do little circular movements, okay? Or you can do little patchy movements if you want to, but those strong, firm pressures, this is where daddies are so good as well, okay? And holding him upright. One of the other ways you can also wind him is by putting him across your knees, and especially if you've had a Caesar, then you would put him across your knees. Let me demonstrate. Sorry, Kai. Like that. Okay. There we go. And you could ideally even put a pillow there, and you could do the same thing. Okay. Rub. All right. A little pressure on your tummy can do wonders for them as well, and there's no pressure on your scar if you have a Caesar.
Good one to remember.
It's a good one.
We have a mummy on the line who's having some issues with burping. We've got Portia from Polokwane. Welcome to Great Expectations, Portia. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. My problem is that I've got an oversupply of milk.
Okay.
And the baby, my 2-month-old baby, tends to suck everything and then store it in the mouth, and then later on it will come out, instead of burping, the milk will come out from the nose.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're sorry, it's a bad line. We're going to have to drop the call, but I was able to get the question. The baby, she's got an oversupply of milk. The baby takes all the milk in, and the milk ends up coming out through the nose.
Okay, the baby's probably gulping very quickly at the beginning of the feed. Oversupply of milk. So what Portia should do is actually latch her baby on nicely and then lay way back on 2 pillows. So she's got her baby across her like this, but she will be lying down now, and she'll have her baby sucking against the force of gravity.
Almost lying all the way down, but
yes,
not all the way.
On the 2 pillows, yeah.
Okay.
And then she should do that for at least the first 5 minutes, especially on the first side. And maybe she should be feeding that baby even on 1 breast per feed, because there's so much milk, and that will help the supply kick in as well. But she needs to slow the baby down for the first 5 minutes at least of that feed. Otherwise, they gulp very quickly. They fill themselves with air at the same time. They think they're full. They want to feed and feed and feed, and it does cause big problems. So the laying back and feeding against the force of gravity is very helpful.
Thank you, Brenda. We hope that helps, Portia. We're back after the break when we tackle all the common problems moms have with breastfeeding, like thrush, engorgement. You can still get your questions into our experts by calling us on 011-447-1742, or please send us an SMS on 34970.
You seem the same. Your bodies are the same size and shape, but you move differently. New Pampers Active Baby, with its perfect comfy fit, helps prevent friction here and here and here, so you move how you want to. Pampers Active Baby, unbeatable friction protection. Pampers, peaceful nights, playful days.
The healthy Nestle generation has big news. At 6 months, babies' tummies are 5 times smaller than adults, but they need 5 times more energy to develop. That's why Cerelac and Nestum have the nutrients, vitamins, and minerals needed, making them ideal for complementary feeding or as a first food. That's big nutrition for small tummies. Nestle, start healthy, stay healthy. From 6 months to preschool, we'll be with you every step of the way.
So, velo what like is my friend. So, I told you what do you want?
Rhythm City, tonight at 6:30, only on E!
Welcome back, everyone. Today on Great Expectations, we're bringing you the breastfeeding guide. Get your question in now by calling us on 011-447-1742 or send us an SMS on 34970, as we have experts in studio to tackle all the common breastfeeding problems like thrush, cracked nipples, engorged breasts, the joys of motherhood. The experts are lactation consultant in private practice, Sister Brenda Campbell, midwife Ntombi Nsimango, and we're now rejoined by midwifery consultant Diana Duplessis. We've got an SMS on the line. The viewer says, my 4-week-old baby has white patches on her tongue. What must I do? Must I clean them? That's from Diana in PE. Brenda, would you like to take that one?
Sounds like that baby's got thrush.
Okay.
And she would need to actually get someone to just have a look at it. The patches in the mouth from thrush do not just wipe away. You know, it depends if the baby's been breastfed, and there are specific patches. They're usually inside the cheeks, in the lower gum, and all around the mouth. The important thing is that the mother needs to be treated. Her nipples, she needs a specific cream for her nipples, and the baby needs something for its mouth.
So if baby's got thrush in the mouth, then mummy's also got it on the nipple.
And baby have to be treated. And you know, there's been so much bad knowledge that's gone on about that, where they say just get something and put it on the baby's nipple and then feed the baby. Well, it all goes down the baby into the baby's tummy that way. She needs to apply something to her nipples after the feed that will help improve the thrush and give the baby the oral preparation for the throat.
Can she get something just over the counter, or does she have to go back to the gynae for the prescription?
There are some over-the-counter medications, yes, that she can get, but usually the pharmacist will be able to help her.
Okay. Okay. I think we've got a caller on the line, Christina from Pretoria. Welcome to Great Expectations.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you, Christina?
I'm fine.
Thanks for calling.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I've got a problem.
Oh,
Hello?
that sounds like... Please turn your television off immediately, Christina. We can hear it. It's giving us feedback.
Right.
We'll come back to you as soon as the TV is off.
Switch it off.
Switch it off completely.
Yes, completely. Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you. Okay.
Okay, I've got a
Oh, no, the line is so bad. We're sorry, Christina. We're going to go to another SMS. We'll come back to you as soon as we sort out the line issue. Our SMS says, at the clinic, they told me my baby doesn't suck properly and they fed him bottle. What do I do now? That's from Juliet. And Dombi, would you like to take that one?
Yes, I will. I think it's very unfortunate that moms will be told you're not going to be able to breastfeed and that's it, case closed. I think a baby who doesn't suck well, obviously that baby needs to be taught the good sucking reflex and sucking action. What we normally suggest with the moms is take baby, rinse your finger underneath the tap water, finger in there so that baby can be encouraged to grasp onto that and suck and have a good go at it. After doing that, I would obviously advise that mom to take baby and put baby onto the breast. Make sure that baby's latched on correctly, that she's comfortable, and put baby onto the breast and encourage that baby to suck. If you give the baby the bottle immediately, that baby's not going to want to suck anymore because it's so easy getting it from the bottle. I think a lot of the times it's about persevering and being tolerant and saying, I am going to do this and I'm going to put my heart and mind into doing it. Another thing that mom could do is maybe get the services of a lactation consultant and go see that. Somebody who's pro breastfeeding, who's going to support you throughout that whole experience rather than cop out and say, let's just give baby the bottle.
Yeah, okay. We've got another SMS on the line. Our viewer says, my baby is exclusively breastfed. How do I know that she has enough? 5 weeks old. That's from Gail. Diana?
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest issues moms have. They always wonder if the baby is getting enough milk. And I do think when we come back in later life, hopefully we can convince people that our boobs will be translucent in the near future.
with little like measuring lines, you know, so you can see how much milk is in there.
So that they can see how much milk they're taking. And a lot of pressure is put on moms by dads as well. By wanting to know how much the baby is taking. If the baby drinks every 2 to 3 hours as it demands, the baby asks for food, the baby is fed. If the baby sleeps for 2 to 3 hours at a given time, if the baby picks up weight, in the old days we used to count the number of wet nappies, but unfortunately with the wonderful nappies we get nowadays, it's not always possible to say how often the baby piddles. But it's important for the mom to know that if the baby looks well, if the brains, the tongue is nice and moist. If the baby sleeps for a few odd hours, the baby is doing well. What does happen, baby goes through growth spurts at various times and intervals, and she's rapidly approaching the 6 weeks growth spurt again, where she will want to feed every hour. And it's usually then when the family and in-laws will tell the mom that the milk is now dwindled, it's not nutritious enough, or that she's not producing enough. And that's the time where she must just stick on it. She must feed the baby as often as it wishes, as long as it wants. And she will build up her own milk supply. The more the baby feeds, the more milk she'll produce.
So persevere, trust yourself, monitor your baby. We've got more of your SMSs after the break. When you need to get hubby doing some night feeds or you're heading back to work, breast milk is still the best option. Up next, all you need to know about expressing. Remember, a Philips Avent breast pump up for grabs. Our telephone number is 011-447-1742, or you can SMS us on 34970.
Have you noticed
notice persistently drier skin and darker marks on your face after 35? It means wrinkles and age spots are on their way. New Pond's Age Miracle, Pond's best proven anti-aging cream in South Africa, reduces signs of aging, giving you younger looking skin in just 7 days. New Pond's Age Miracle. Take the Age Miracle 7-day challenge, and if you don't see any results, we will give you your money back.